What's going on, Tar Heels? It's Alan, one half of your Hill Brothers, here with another video. I'm here to talk to you today about the lovely special teams. So here's to hoping that North Carolina's special teams is special in the 2025 season, because they were not special in the last couple of years of the Mike Brown tenure. When I think about special teams, I don't really think special teams gets a lot of attention. It's like the one aspect of football that seems to go unnoticed, thankless. The only time you hear about special teams is if a team hits a game winning field goal, a 60-something yard plus field goal, or if you get a field goal blocked, or a punt blocked, or a kickoff return, or a punt return. And kickoff returns and punt returns, they don't happen that often. Punt block shouldn't happen that often, but North Carolina, was on a trend to be one of the worst in the country at having their own punt blocks. And hopefully, Bill Belichick and his staff can come in and fix that. Let's go through a little stats. I'll drop these real quick. I'm going to read them off here. Tom McGinnis was your punter in the 2024 season, all of 2024 season, and in 2023 season. Okay. North Carolina ranked 104th in punting, and that is out ESPN had the ranking 104th out of 127. That is not what you want out of your punting unit. Tom McGinnis had 51 attempts, averaging 41.1 yards. 65 yards was his longest. That seems fine. That seems like a good number. I think the numbers can be deceiving in the fact that he had some that were shanked 20 yards. It seemed towards the end of the season that he was really became a head case. The stats speak for themselves. North Carolina had 2 punts blocked last season. One, and it was in back-to-back games. JMU, Duke. Yes, North Carolina recovered the punt block against Duke. After Duke blocked it, it bounced to Duke's side of the line of scrimmage. The Duke player tried to scoop it up, was unable to, and Will Hardy was the one that was able to jump on it and recover it for UNC. North Carolina was actually the fastest team in the country to punt blocks last season. That's not exactly something you want to be known for. Go to the 2023 season, you had 3 blocks. You had 3 of your punts blocked in the 2023 season. That was tied for the most in the country. 2019, you had 1 or 2 blocked in the 2022 season. You had 6 punt blocked in the past 3 seasons. That's not exactly what you want. Bill Belichick brings in Mike Pryfer and Billy Miller. They're your special teams coordinators. So you hope that they can figure out a way to keep the punts from being blocked. North Carolina also brought in Jacob Horvath out of the transfer portal. During his 2024 season, he had 15 punts that traveled 50 or more yards. His longest punt must have took, for your golfers out there, must have hit a cart path or something and bounced forward, because that daggum thing was 76 yards long. That's longer than 3/4 of the football field. But for some reason, his average was 44.3 yards per punt. So 3+ yards higher than McGinnis last season. So there's going to be competition at the punter position. My opinion is you want your special teams to go unnoticed. At the end of the game, you don't want the post-game press conference to be, well, coach, you had the game locked up until, and that until is a special teams blunder. Or you're driving down the field and and you get a field goal blocked, you get a punt block. Those are huge momentum swings in a game. Not only do you increase your winning percentage by 90% if you block the punt, it is a significant momentum swing one way or the other for the team that blocked it. Everybody's hooping and hollering, rah-rah on the sidelines. The other team on the sidelines that just got their punt block is just like, what just happened? Why did this happen? How did this happen? And last year's regime couldn't get it fixed. Obviously, because JMU and Duke both blocked punts in back-to-back games. I'm pretty sure Mac Brown was even asked about the punting situation after the JMU game, and he said that they would correct it, and Duke came out and just showed exactly why they wasn't corrected. So that's excellent. There's going to be a new field goal kicker for North Carolina. North Carolina brought in Reese Verhoff and Gaetano. I'm going to mess this name up. Gaetano Bartolomeo. Yeah. Well, anyway, those are your two kickers that are going to be dueling during fall camp. It'll be interesting to see who can win that position. Me personally, I'm just interested in seeing what type of improvement North Carolina will have fundamentally when it comes to punt protection. Basically, it just all boils down to punt protection, because that was the big thing last year. The inability to protect the punter, because if it wasn't getting blocked, he was being hurried. And with that rugby style punt, you need a couple extra seconds to get the punt off. And it helps if the ball goes further than, I think 41.1 yards was his average for last season, and I think he only averaged 38 points some odd yards the season before in 2023. Now, is that due to his inability to punt the ball, or is that the inability to have a sound protection to where he feels he has the adequate amount of time to get the ball off without it being blocked? I can only imagine, you having a couple people running at you full speed and you're trying to kick a ball, and what that could do to your form, your ability, your ability to, see the ball to your foot to kick it. All that goes hand in hand when it comes to having a successful punt. And North Carolina did not have a lot of those last season. And that's the biggest thing. It's just, you gotta, and I'm sure Bill Belichick, won't overlook any of this. But the structure and how you protect the punter in the formation, you hope that they can figure it out, because the coaches and the staff before this new regime came in with Belichick, they obviously could not get it figured out. This is definitely one of the big talking points that I would have coming out of fall training camp, just to see what kind of protections, how's the punters punting, are they punting the ball more than 30 yards, 40 yards? Because that was a real issue last season. And, North Carolina's special teams was talked about because they were not that great last season. And, special teams can win and lose you games. If you constantly have the ability to swap ends of the field, boot a 50, 55 plus yard punt, that's that much further that team has to drive. But if you're on your own 30 and you shank it 20 yards, 25, 30 yards, well, then they don't have that far to go. And that puts your defense in a real bind. 110, 15, 20-yard play, and they're already in field goal range. Whereas if you can really swap ends of the field and pin the opposing offense, inside their own 25, say 25, make them drive 75 yards. They have to put a, you would hope they would have to put a significant drive together to score 3 or, more, hopefully, you don't let them score a touchdown, but, that's obviously going to happen. North Carolina's special teams was just frightening last season, to say the least. I just really hope it changes. So, yeah, well, we'll sit with that one, and we'll see what they say. We'll see what Pfeiffer and the other Billy has to say. Coming anytime they get a chance to speak from here on out, and we'll see what they have to say, see who wins the jobs. But I'll definitely be looking to see who runs off the field the first time North Carolina has to punt. If it's Tom McGinnis, I might have to hold my breath. But hey, maybe he's had a year to grow, get stronger, work on flexibility, kicking, whatever you got to work on to, kick the ball further. Maybe he can kick it further. I guess we'll find out. All right, Tarios. We'll holler at you later.